since I've been in the UFC, man, since 2020, I've been grinding on my own. I've been figuring it out. I've been writing out the blueprint. A lot of people didn't believe it when they seen it, but I knew this was destined. I knew this was gonna come into fruition because I believed in God. God is my substance. God that gave me everything, and He provided me with everything. All these other dudes, man, they get everything around them given to them. I had to take everything that I had to build for, brick by brick, straight from the dirt, straight from the mud. That's why these boys not gonna beat me. And I don't care about that Usman fight. That man had to hold me down. But don't nobody wanna fight with me toe to toe. And Shavkat, I heard you chirping, I heard you talking about black boy. I'ma show you that then, boy. I'ma show you where the fuck we come from. How long that we been struggling, how long we been deprived, but how long we still get up every single time we get knocked down and we run shit over. I'ma you up and anybody else that want it. See, Shavkat, if you don't sign the somebody else gonna and I promise you that, dog. I'm burying everybody in the UFC and I ain't playing.
Man, all that striking you doing right there, man, just to shoot in the first 5 seconds of the fight is crazy work. So look, Khamzat, this is what I'm gonna do for you. If you're able to stay on your feet for 1 round, just on your feet, and not use your wrestling, I'll give you $50,000. Oh, you heard me right, $50,000. And in your country, rubles, what's that, about 3 million? So you know that's good money for y'all. And guess what? Nasruddin, if you're able to match that, that means that's 100,000. So Khamzat, take that money or still show that you were pumped by using that wrestling, man, in the first 5 seconds. Matter of fact, I'm at the ATM right now, man. Let me go ahead and pull out some money. Matter of fact, I gotta get another fight. But when I get one, I'm gonna...
Hey guys, have you heard the news that Joaquin Buckley is an absolute demon right now? Like, this guy is causing and stirring up headlines like no tomorrow. I just on my social media, I just, like, every other post is like Joaquin Buckley, like calling out guys like Shavkat Rakhmonov and Khamzat Chimaev, even throwing out $50,000 of his own money to Khamzat Chimaev if he challenges him. Okay, I'll talk a little bit about that, right? But so Joaquin's out there trying to remind everyone that he almost fought Khamzat backstage, and he thinks he has his number, and he's pretty confident he could take out Rakhmonov just like that. Yeah, so guys, it's getting a little bit spicy. Every now and then you hear about Joaquin Buckley, but usually when it is, he's quite loud and his antics are really up there. But look, we'll get into this, guys. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome to Duality 7X. I'm your host, Shiraz, and if you guys are new here, we try to cover all the latest trending stories when it comes to the world of MMA, UFC, WWE, and boxing. Straight up, no fillers, no fluff talk, just real fight talk, guys. Genuine perspective. And let's talk about Joaquin Buckley. Let's talk about his recent antics and his tirade that he went on social media, because this man is applying pressure on the entire division. And I'm pretty sure that people, very important people within the UFC echelon hierarchy, have taken note of Joaquin's recent antics. So let's talk a little bit about that, guys. You know, if you haven't seen the post already, you guys seen the video earlier. He's called out guys like Shavkat Rakhmonov and one out of the 2 fighters that he called out, the other one being Khamzat Chimaev. But when he called out Shavkat, what stood out for me wasn't just a call out. It's how he called him out. It's what he said. He, like, Buckley straight up said that he doesn't care about the Usman fight. Okay, he claimed that Usman had to hold him down, and he made it very, very clear that nobody wants to stand with him toe to toe. All right, so that's Buckley in a nutshell, full of confidence, and is always bringing up the past, and he just throws it in your face and makes you swallow it while you're standing there watching him. So while he's watching you, that's the kind of stuff that Joaquin is known for. In a nutshell, he's explicitly explosive, to say the least. Yeah, as I mentioned, super confident. He's got zero fear. Now let's be real. Calling out Shavkat Rakhmonov, that's not like clout chasing as per se. I mean, I think that's dangerous business, because Rakhmonov, I honestly feel he's at a different level than Joaquin. Okay, I mean, Joaquin is a good athlete. He's talented, but to me, it seems like Joaquin's got a bigger mouth than his skills are able to show for. So that actually would be a very interesting fight. I'd like to see that. I hope the UFC kind of makes some arrangements to potentially make that happen. Because look, Shavkat, first of all, he's undefeated. Okay, bottom line, right? He doesn't really have any. I mean, everybody's got weaknesses and issues and what have you, but on paper, he doesn't really seem to have any major weaknesses, right? And so the UFC clearly sees Shavkat as a future title earner, future title material, if you want to call it that. And I don't know if UFC really wants to waste their time with putting the likes of a very loud, explosive, angry fighter like Joaquin in the ring with Rakhmonov. But I mean, the way Joaquin's going about it, with his antics online, with all kinds of, like on a lot of the social media platforms, to me, it seems like the UFC might have to respond in kind. And if the fans really want to see this, then maybe, just maybe, Joaquin might have actually strategically found himself in a very big matchup. And so, look, Buckley jumping into that lane tells me one thing, okay? It tells me that he's not necessarily there for like slow climbs. I think he wants the smoke. He wants all of the smoke, and he wants it right now. He's not, to me, it doesn't seem like he's willing to grind up that ladder like every other gifted athlete within the organization. He wants it, and he wants it now. And clearly he's got a mouthpiece on him. He's loud, he's abrasive, he's explosive, and he's definitely catching a lot of people's attention, because if he didn't, then I wouldn't actually be doing this video now, would I? Because of its antics, I was compelled enough to do this video. And I'm not the only guy on YouTube who's doing this video. There's hundreds of guys like me with their channels doing videos on the same damn story. So look, Buckley, in my opinion, is a bit of a salesman. I'll tell you why, because he did something really, really smart. He knew he was going to go on social media and pull these antics and cause a whole bunch of chaos online, and he's going to rile up the people like he is doing, and he's being very successful at it, because if he didn't, obviously, as I alluded to, I wouldn't have been doing this story. So I've clearly, caught whim of the situation, as many others on social media platforms have as well too. So the question comes down to is now, what's next? And a guy like him is very, very smart. He must have had some kind of a sales background in business, because what he did is he pulled a very classic business move without even people, and he did it in a very subtle way, but he did what is known as the alternative of choice. If I give you an example, if somebody says, I really like this coat in the store, I think it's fantastic, but I need to go check with the missus, and I'll come back with her to come see the coat. So the sales guy would probably, a good sales guy would probably be like, great, I'll put this coat on hold for you. I mean, it's in limited quantity. There's a lot of buzz about it, a lot of people interested in it. So, I'll put this coat. I'll put it on hold for you, but I can only put it on hold till the end of day, or they'll say for the next 24 hours or 48 hours or whatever it is. So let's just say hypothetically the guy's like, he's able to put this coat on hold for a couple days, but the guy doesn't leave the store without actually affirming when he's going to come back. So the right thing for the sales guy to do in this case would be like, hey, Mr. Customer, I know you really want this coat. Here's what we'll do. I'll put this coat on hold for you, but in terms of you wanting to come back and see it, I can only put this coat on hold for, say, like 24 hours. If you want to come back, I've got this time and this time available. Which time works for you? So for him to say those two times, essentially that starts to ingrain in the customer's mind, knowing that those are the only real two times that he has. That's called the alternative of choice. And so what Buckley essentially did is, rather than just calling out one guy, because he threw whatever to the wall and he's hoping that sticks. But if the UFC is not ready to see Buckley and Rakhmonov square off against each other, then essentially what Buckley is doing is he's also throwing out Khamzat's name in the mix as well too. So if he can't get one, hopefully he can get the other. If he can't get Rakhmonov, maybe he's going to get Khamzat. If he can't get Khamzat, maybe he's going to get Rakhmonov. You catch my drift, guys? Very, very classic marketing. Kudos to Buckley, but to me it seems like he might have had some kind of a sales background in the past. And honestly, I think it's sheer brilliance, because now that he's called out Khamzat, he's also added some additional skin to the game. His own money, $50,000, guys. That's the part that broke the internet, right? Khamzat is the king. Like right now, he's fresh off one of the most dominant title wins ever seen against Duplessis. And he's being called out left, right, center by everybody. And now we just have another name to add to that list, Joaquin Buckley. And he's also coming on board, okay, with $50,000 of his own money to try to secure that fight. Okay. So Buckley basically told Khamzat in his tirade that, Khamzat, if you stay on your feet for one round, no wrestling, I'll give you $50,000 of my own money. And then he doubled down. Okay? He doubled down. He goes, if Imamov matches it, that's $100,000. That's... Now Imamov's name is being dragged into the mix, guys. That's absolutely wild. That's pure confidence or pure craziness. I'm going to be a little bit in the middle. I think it's a little bit of chaos, madness, and everything all in between. And that's the kind of stuff that makes Buckley work. And look, he called Khamzat out publicly. And, look, if Khamzat dominated his last fight, then this is a no debate. This is like, he's going to dominate this one as well too. And no, a fighter doesn't necessarily have to stand on his 50,000. Okay, if Khamzat stands on his feet a whole round without going into wrestling, that's hard for Khamzat to do, because he's a wrestler by trade. I mean, that's his profession. That's what he knows. He knows how to strike. He knows how to fight, but he prefers to be grappling instead of striking. Now, even in a striking category, I think Buckley's got to be a little concerned, because Khamzat's very, very dangerous with the striking as well too. He weathered the storm against Duplessis, and that was very, very challenging. So, but $50,000 is a small drop in the bucket. That's not the kind of money that's going to make Khamzat blink. This guy's made umpteens of millions of dollars. Now, if you're trying to throw $50,000, that's not enough, guys. That's not even enough to buy a decent car these days, apparently, right? So, I mean, look, fans want to see more damage. They want to see more danger. They want to see more risk. I'm just being honest here, guys, right? What Buckley is trying to say is what a lot of other fighters are trying to say as well, too. And if you're working on trying to secure and procure a match between one of the greatest fighters right now in the UFC, you're going about it the wrong way. Yes, creating a lot of buzz and doing all that, that could garner a lot of attention, but it's going to piss off a lot of execs and a lot of the people within the organization, and I'm talking about the UFC, because that's not how they necessarily like to go about their business. But on the flip side, the UFC love to react to fans as well too. So if enough people are starting to catch wind of this latest tirade between of Buckley's, maybe it'll come to UFC's Dana White's desk, and maybe Dana White might make a decision. All right, and so maybe Buckley doesn't have enough clout to call Dana White. Or for Dana White to even listen to him. So maybe this is Buckley's way of trying to be able to procure a fight for himself and to make a payday for himself. Because obviously, at the end of the day, it's not, I don't think for Buckley it's about legacy. I think it's all about a payday for him, right? So this isn't, and look, guys, this isn't random beef either, okay? Just to give you some context. Khamzat and Buckley almost fought backstage a few years back, and I mean, what started out as Buckley talking to Darren Till, and and then he turned into Khamzat stepping in, talking recklessness, and then basically saying he'd fight Buckley right there. And so yeah, man, there's some unfinished business, definitely. There's some context there, but I mean, that kind of crap happens all the time behind stage. I mean, look what happened recently. You hear of these stories all the time of these fighters, like just kind of within random, within the same kind of vicinity with one another. And unfortunately, crap like that is always going to happen. It's sad, but it is what it is, right? I mean, look, here's a big what if. If Khamzat actually accepts that bet, and if he really does want to decide to make a statement on this and strike for a full round, that could be really interesting. That Khamzat could use Joaquin as an example, that because a lot of people have been criticizing Khamzat for always just grappling more than striking. This could be his way of making a statement that he's also a very gifted striker as well too, and he could make Joaquin as an example of that. But if Buckley keeps winning and forces the UFC's, if he keeps winning, he's going to end up forcing the UFC's hand. Okay, bottom line, all right. And then if you got Buckley versus Shavkat, wow, guys, I don't like. I mean, now just for the hype, either of these fights I think would be great. Yeah. Buckley is definitely turning himself into a must-watch villain as opposed to a hero. And, I mean, who knows? I mean, if you don't like the Dagestanis and if you don't like the Chechens, then Buckley could be looked at as a hero then, right? So depending on how you see it, guys, either way, the division is only going to get more interesting if it hasn't already. So let me ask you this. Who wins between Buckley and Shavkat? Would you actually want to see that fight, or do you want to see Buckley versus Khamzat? Right? Drop your picks and comments below, guys. I'm reading all of them. And look, bottom line, Joaquin is doing exactly what fighters should be doing, but maybe not to that extent. He's a little too loud. But go on social media. Use social media as a platform. But there's ways to be able to market yourself without being completely chaotic like Buckley is, right? But calling names, creating moments sometimes can force the hand of big organizations like the UFC. It's happened many times before in the past, and it's not going to stop happening. So whether you love them or hate them, you're going to be watching just like I am. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, please smash a like and subscribe. Join us here on Duality 7X for more fight talk. And that's my take, guys. I'll catch you guys on the next one.